Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time visiting my channel, my name is Felix. I'm a YouTube content creator from Indonesia. And today I'll be reacting on this one. This is a request from you guys. I have actually noticed this video, but I'm just still thinking on whether I need to react or not. But since you guys request for it, so here we go. How similar are Tagalog and Indonesian? And I can't wait. This is basically like episode 2 of free course of Filipino language, where I first talk about Tagalog, learning about kamusta, learning about bangka, learning about salamat, learning about malakit salama, malamit salamat or something. I learned also about ingat and many other languages of Tagalog, and maybe I can learn more from this video and we can compare, and I can also give my comments about Indonesian language. So without further ado, let's go learn and go to this course. How similar are Tagalog and Indonesian? Let's go, let's check, let's react. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
This video is brought to you by Innovative Language, the
Okay.
creators of Indonesian Pod 101 and Filipino Pod 101.
Ooh, nice.
Click the link in the description to check out their huge collection of audio and video lessons for students of all levels.
Oh, nice.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Langfocus channel, and my name is Paul. Today we're going to compare Tagalog, otherwise known as Filipino, the lingua franca of the Philippines, and Indonesian, the lingua franca of Indonesia,
Lingua
the most widely
franca.
spoken variety of Malay. Basically, everything I say about Indonesian in this video will also apply to Malay, because their standard forms are very close to each other, aside from some different vocabulary. But since I'm more familiar with Indonesian, the samples in this video will focus on Indonesian.
Okay.
Tagalog
Okay,
on the one hand.
wait, pause it here first. The thing that I need to comment about Indonesian and Malay, of course, I'm not saying it's 100% the same, but Malay use a language named Bahasa Melayu, while Indonesia is Indonesian or Bahasa Indonesia. Indonesia and Melayu has quite a similarities, like we say, like we have like a kanan, and kanan in Tagalog also means right, and then like kambing in Tagalog is goat, and in Indonesia is goat. Yeah, something like that. So Malaysia, usually when they talk to us, they use Melayu, and we still understand, because the words, although they sometimes spoke the words kind of different from us, but it's still the same, and like we can still understand, but maybe the intonation or some other pronunciation of some words is somewhat different, but it's not totally different, like a totally brand new language, but it's just the way they pronounce the words that are different, but the way they made up the sentences, the way they use the words is almost the same. Like basically we're almost twins between Indonesian and Malaysia, but Indonesia uses Indonesia and Malaysia uses Melayu. Okay, let's continue.
Indonesian and other forms of Malay, on the other, are not mutually intelligible.
Yep.
Native speakers of either language often say that they feel they should be able to understand the other language,
but
they can't. This is probably due to their similar pronunciation and intonation.
Yes, right. Oh, I should be able to understand it. Like I know kanan, I know kamusta, I know salamat, I know boat, I know tarapik or something, like toothpick, I don't tarapik or what, I forgot. Yeah, something like that. It's almost the same, like kambing, it's almost the same. So why don't I understand it, but I can't, like, because Tagalog. Yeah, let's just continue first, because I already know what he means, but the how we sequence the sentences or how we made the sentences is totally like different for me, but some vocabularies are the same.
And also hear some similar words in the other language. partly because of the common origins of the two languages.
Yep.
Malay, including Indonesian, since they're essentially the same language,
Austronesian
and Tagalog
languages
are both
form a
members of the
son.
Malayo-Polynesian branch of the Austronesian language family. That means they developed from the same language, Proto-Malayo-Polynesian, from which all members of that branch descended. Speakers of Proto-Malayo-Polynesian first migrated from Taiwan to northern Luzon in the Philippines before spreading out across much of maritime Southeast Asia and the Pacific. Most of the languages of Philippines, and most of the languages of Malaysia and Indonesia, outside of Papua that is, also descended from Proto-Malayo-Polynesian. So at their core, Malay and Tagalog are related, though they've been diverging from each other for at least 4,000 years, and maybe much longer. During that time, they've developed their own features and have undergone different influences. Influences on Malay. Sanskrit had a heavy influence on Malay vocabulary and literature, beginning in the 7th century, followed by Arabic in the 14th century, once Islam was established in the archipelago.
Ooh.
Later on, Malay was influenced by English in British colonial territories and Dutch in the Dutch colonial territories. Modern Indonesian, which began to be called Indonesian only in 1928, contains more Dutch influence, while Malay in Malaysia, Brunei, and Singapore
they have English. That's why Philippines are also known of capabilities in speaking English,
which served
right?
as a lingua franca throughout maritime Southeast Asia for centuries. So some of the similarities between Malay and Tagalog stem from their ancient common origin, and some of their similarities stem from the more recent influence of Malay on Tagalog. Then the Spanish arrived in Philippines in 1521 and left a massive footprint on Tagalog and other Filipino languages. What percentage of Tagalog words come from Spanish? Estimates range from 20% to 33%. This definitely accounts for a lot of the difference in vocabulary
it's a lot of
between
vocabularies,
Tagalog and Malay
man.
and Indonesian.
33%?
Philippines also became a colony of the United States for several decades, beginning in 1898.
That's why a lot of words is using English.
And Tagalog has many borrowings from English. Since I'm focusing on Indonesian for the samples, I'm simply going to refer to it as Indonesian from now on, rather than saying Indonesian and Malay all the time. Generally speaking, Indonesian and Tagalog are fairly different in terms of grammar and sentence structure. In terms of pronunciation, they're quite similar. Stop consonants in both Indonesian and Tagalog are unaspirated, meaning that there's no puff of air after the consonant, the way there often is after p, t, and k in English. They both also lack v and f sounds, except for a small number of loanwords, but many speakers will pronounce them as b and p. They also have similar sets of vowels. Tagalog has 5.
A, E, I.
E, O, U. And Indonesian has 5 vowel letters, but with 6 sounds, because E is pronounced 2 ways, either as e or as a schwa. In terms of vocabulary, the majority of words are different, but there are also many similar words, including many common basic core words. For example, some personal pronouns and family vocabulary are similar. The words for I,
Aku,
Ako,
you, singular,
engkau, kau,
ikaw.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, ako. That's why I feel like I understand. Ako. Engkau, kau, ikaw, ka. Oh, ka is kau. Engkau, ikaw. Ako. Okay, nice. Oh yeah, I just remember. Mariming salamat. Many thanks. Thank you so much. Something like that. Aku. Okay. The same thing with when I watch Game Boys. It's like anak. Anak in Indonesia is also anak. Anak is child.
Ka.
We.
Kami.
Kami.
Oh.
Kita.
Oh, the
In
same.
Indonesian, this is we, including the listener, and in Tagalog, this means me to you, or we in the dual, you and me together. Child.
Anak. Yeah,
Anak.
right.
Male.
lelaki, laki-laki,
Lalaki.
Oh.
There are also numerous words.
Okay. Ako. So, I don't know how to make the sentence. So, ako mariming salamat. I thank you so much. Ako mariming salamat po. I thank you so much po. Is that right? Ako mariming salamat po. And then like So, SB19 song, bakit no ikaw? So, something, something, something you. Kami, kita, anak, lalaki. Lalaki. Okay, okay. This is quite easy to memorize, I think. It's not that different.
Lalaki.
Lalaki. Okay,
There are
lalaki.
also numerous words related to household
And everyday life.
Bowl,
Mangkuk.
Mangkok.
Mangkok.
mosquito net.
Kelambu.
Kulambo.
You'll notice that oftentimes where there's an oo sound in one language, there will be an
Kelambu,
o
kelambo.
sound in the other. Door,
Pintu.
Pinto.
Pinto.
Pintuan.
Pintuan.
table.
Meja.
Mesa.
Tagalog word is a Spanish loan.
La
And we
mesa.
also say
Oh.
La mesa.
the Indonesian and Malay word is also a loan from Portuguese, mesa. Ladle.
Sendok.
Sandok.
And
Sandok.
in Malay and
Spoon.
Indonesian, this also means spoon.
Oh,
Nature
oh,
words.
oh,
Rock, or Malay and
nice, nice. By the way, just giving a few fun fact. This is mangkok, okay? Bowl is mangkok, but in our daily life, I wouldn't say mangkok like, Mom, can you get me one mangkok? No, we never said like that, and I personally never said like that. I like, Mom, can you help get me one mangkok? Like mangkok is a more of a formal vocabulary. Like if you were in a test, like a perfect spelling of English, a perfect Tagalog English, perfect Tagalog test. Yeah, you know the like Tagalog class or something. Yeah, we said it mangkok, but actually we said it the same like a Filipino, like a Tagalog. We said it mangkok, like kasih aku satu mangkok dong. Give me one mangkok, please. Like give me one mangkok, like something like that. I usually said it with a mangkok rather than tolong ambilin satu mangkuk dong. Please help me to get one mangkuk. Like I usually rather say that in mangkok with an O rather than with an U. Mangkuk. Okay. Mosquito net, kelambu, kulambu, pintu, pinto, pintuan, table, meja, mesa, ladle, sendok, sandok. Okay, there are quite some words in the Filipino that is really similar, but it is being changed or transformed with an O, like like a pintu become pinto, kelambu become kulambo, mangkok become mangkok, like something like that. Okay.
Asian, this also means spoon. Nature words, rock or stone.
Batu.
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 Right? O.
Wind.
Change O.
Hangin.
Hangin. Okay.
Sky.
Langit.
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 Fire.
Api.
Api.
Apoy.
Apoy.
You'll notice
Oh,
that
apoy.
E at the end of a word in Malay and Indonesian sometimes corresponds
Oy.
to oi in Tagalog.
Oh.
Pig,
Babi.
Baboy.
crocodile,
Buaya.
Buaya.
Oh, okay. Nice. So, rock, stone, bato, pick. So paper, rock, paper, scissor. Bato, pick. So the thing that I'm concerning now is bato, pick, rock, paper, scissors. Okay, rock is bato, pick is then paper. So what is rock, paper, scissors? So scissors is pick. So why is a bato, pick? Why is bato again? So rock, scissors. Why? But there's a paper, right? Why don't bato something pick, like bato pick? Like I don't know. Apoy or langit, but I've received a comment from you guys that langit actually means heaven rather than langit, and you said a word to replace that, but sometimes in daily usage you also said, oh, look at langit, the langit. So we're not talking about heaven, but we are talking about sky. So it's just the matter of daily usage. But in terms of you taking a Tagalog exam, langit defines as heaven, and langit itself, sky itself is like another word. I forgot. You guys stated in the comments. Okay, continue.
babi,
So baboy,
Crocodile.
buaya,
Buaya.
buaya. Okay, buaya. So basically, the way Filipino writes buaya is the way how we speak it. Because in Indonesia, buaya, like we speak it B-U-W-W-A-Y-N-A, right? Buaya, and we read it the same way Tagalog write it.
Numbers and units of time. Moon,
Moon,
or
month,
bulan,
bulan,
Buwan.
buwan,
Week.
minggu,
Linggo.
linggo,
The Tagalog word comes from the Malay
Minggu.
word, and the Malay word is from Portuguese
Domingo.
Year.
tahun,
taon,
Taon.
taon,
4,
4,
Apat.
apat.
5,
5,
Lima.
Same.
6.
6,
Anim.
Anim, anim,
Libo.
thousand,
Parts of the
libo,
body. Eye,
mata,
Mata.
mata,
face,
muka,
Mukha.
mukha,
brain.
otak,
utak,
Basic states and emotions. Hope,
asa,
Asa.
sick or sickness,
sakit,
Sakit.
delicious,
sedap,
Sarap.
Oh, so na pagkasa, like na hope, like do you remember the na pagkasa na, so pag-asa, like something hope. So okay, quite nice. Okay, sedap, sarap. Okay, nice.
In Tagalog, this is the most common word you see in advertisements and so
Delicious.
on.
This
in
is so
Indonesian,
sarap.
enak is more common.
Yep.
To be
Rather
afraid,
than
takut.
sedap,
Takut.
takut,
to laugh,
tawa,
Tawa.
tawa.
selamat,
safety.
Salamat.
In Tagalog, its basic meaning is thank you, whereas in Malay and Indonesian, it's often used in greetings like selamat pagi, meaning good morning.
Yep, this is totally right. Salamat. Salamat means thank you in Philippines, while in Indonesia, salamat is for congratulating. Like, congratulations for graduating. So, salamat for graduating, something like that. Or, salamat is wishing somebody to stay safe, or basically safety. Like, when our family are going for a ride, selamat ya di jalan, be safe in your journey in the road, something like that. So it can be used either for congratulating someone or saying about relating with a safetyness. So it's based on the context on what is the current situation we are using. Okay, continue.
Other basic verbs. To read,
Baca,
Basa.
basa,
enter.
masuk,
pasok.
It's worth pointing out that m and p are both bilabial sounds. They are both articulated with your lips together. So
Masuk,
it would be easy for one
pasok.
sound to gradually
Okay.
change into the other. To drink,
minum,
Minum,
Inom.
inom,
to open,
buka,
buka,
Buka.
buka,
to help.
tolong,
Tulong.
tulong. Okay.
He had turned his initial $15,000.
Of course, I've been intentionally pointing out words that are similar, but I want to be clear that most words are not the same. So let's look at some sentences in either language so that we can compare their sentence structures. but we
Yes,
can also see
this is
a
what
more
I'm waiting for.
representative sample of
Because
their vocabulary
although
in
some
general.
vocabulary
These
are
sentences
quite the
mean,
same,
"My
but
child
the
likes
way
cats."
they
First in Indonesian,
really made it,
Anakku
it's
suka kucing.
totally
Word
different.
for word is
Anakku suka
child,
kucing.
my, like cats.
Yep.
And in Tagalog,
Mahilig
Ang
ang
anak
anak ko
ko
sa
sang-
mga pusa.
Oh my
word
god,
for
I
word
don't
is
know.
like,
It's so long.
focus marker, child, my, to, plural marker, cat.
Huh? Oh my god, how can I know this? Anakku suka kucing. My child love cat. So like English and Indonesia is already different. Anakku suka kucing. My child love cats. Nah, so okay, I'll teach the comparison of Indonesia and English first. Anak is anak, right? Child. Ku is mine, so it's talking about an ownership here. Suka is a verb, is a verb like a to express feelings like love, like. Cat is obviously kucing, so my child. So in Indonesia, child my like cat, but in English we said it. The my is going forward, right? My child like cat. Well, in Tagalog. Okay. Mahilig ang anak ko sa maga. How can we read this? Maga pusa. So, like focus child, my two plural cat. Oh my god. Okay. I am okay, right? This why this the from the vocabulary only we feel like, oh, we're related, like we can learn easily Tagalog in Tagalog, and Filipino can learn Indonesian easily, but in terms of structure sentence, man, wow.
One part
Okay.
here seems similar,
Anakku.
Anakku.
Anakko.
Yep.
but we could change this word here, pusa, to
Kuting.
which means kitten.
Pusa.
Then the sentences would be even more similar. We can see that Indonesian is basically SVO at its core. SVO.
Yep.
Tagalog is basically VSO. But another way to think
Oh, yep. We use the subject verb object, or subject predicate object, or subject verb. Yep. Subject verb object description, something like that. In English, sometimes it can be active voice or passive voice. If it's come to be an active voice, so I play football, so subject verb object, and the detailed clauses maybe I play football every day, to really constraint on really detailing on stating that I really play football every day. So, but if it's passive voice, so it should be in like football is played by me, something like that. So the object is going forward, and the subject is being passive. So now Tagalog is like okay. So mahilig ang anak ko sa gapusa. Okay.
Think
Verb,
of it
subject,
as
object.
predicate subject, because it's not always a verb in this position.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, this word here, mahili, is not actually a verb. It's an adjective meaning fond of. But a verb would appear here in the same position. Basically, these two pieces of the sentence are reversed in Indonesian and Tagalog. That's the more common and natural word order in Tagalog. But there's also an inverted word order that's more similar to Indonesian, but is generally considered less natural and is used less often.
Ang anak ko ay mahilig sa mga kuting.
Focus okay, childlike kin. Oh yeah, same right, most. Okay. Ang anak ko ay mahilig sa kuting, pusa. Okay. Subject, predicate, object.
Subject here
Ang anak ko
comes at the beginning, followed by the inversion marker
Ay.
followed by the predicate. This is
Mahilig.
less common and more formal, but probably more intuitive for an Indonesian speaker and for English speakers as well. Notice that the Tagalog sentence has this word that the Indonesian sentence doesn't have. Ang.
Yeah, that's
A
why
focus
I'm
marker. This comes before the focus of the sentence, whether it's the subject or the object. Another thing the Indonesian sentence doesn't have is a plural marker, like mga. In
mga.
Indonesian, the plural can be shown with reduplication, like,
Kucing.
but it's not always used. Of course, Indonesian also lacks an inversion marker, like the word ay in Tagalog. In general, Tagalog features more little function words and particles than Indonesian does, especially Standard Indonesian. Colloquial Indonesian has some more little words like that.
Yep, this is totally right. Oh my God, you know, we usually when we study Indonesian language, just for a culture fun fact, when we study Indonesian language itself, it's already hard just to make this kind of sentence for an elementary school or for a kindergarten student. Anakku suka kucing. It's basically this is quite a simple sentence, but if we were to made up a long sentence, it will be somewhat of a challenge. So now Philippines itself is not just focusing on this sentence. So there is the focus, there's the ang, and there's the plural here. But the thing is, in Indonesia, yeah, when we say something plural, we usually double-ize the word. So like so basically like anakku bermain dengan kucing-kucing di lapangan. So anak ko, so my child, plays with the cats with an S in the fields, di lapangan, in the lapangan fields. So we said the cats with a double, so kucing, like we don't need to add a plural like what Tagalog did with like ang anak ko ay mahilig sa kuting or sanga pusa, so we don't have this inversion marker or plural. But yeah, I think it's quite nice to really understand that. Maybe if I were to like watch this every day, I mean like I would have reaction this like a year from now. I think in a year time I can speak a little basic of a Tagalog, because I'm quite have a passion in terms of language. Maybe it's quite good.
Verbs. One difference between Indonesian and Tagalog verbs is that in Indonesian they have no conjugations for tense or aspect, while Tagalog verbs are conjugated for aspect.
Yep. This is the thing that I love from Indonesian, because I'm not quite a professional in terms of speaking English with a perfect grammar tense, future perfect tense, present continuous. The tense that I know is just present tense, present continuous, present perfect with a subject, verb, verb 3, like I have eaten lunch or something. I am playing football now. I will be going to. So that's basically a future continuous tense. So, but the thing that I really love from Indonesia, there's no such tense. There's no past tense, future tense, present tense, all just the same. That
So neither
really
language
eases
has
us
different
as Indonesian.
conjugations for person and number. Let's look at a quick example with
Masuk
Indonesian masuk
and
and Tagalog
pasok.
meaning enter. These sentences mean
He entered the school.
In
Dia
Indonesian,
masuk ke
Dia
sekolah.
masuk ke sekolah.
Yep.
And in Tagalog,
Pumasok siya sa eskwelahan.
Oh no. He entered the school. Dia masuk ke sekolah. Okay. So dia masuk entered to sekolah. Okay. Entered he to eskwelahan, but it's somewhat like a school. Sekolah, escuela, sekolah, somewhat the same. Okay. Enter Tito. Oh, okay. I got a hang of it. As long as I know that subject, predicate, object, subject, verb, object. So I think I can make up Tagalog sentence. Verb, subject, the object. So first is the verb. What is the verb? Pumasok. So masok siya eskwelahan. Okay.
in the Tagalog verb, there's an infix, which is used for completed actions. But there's nothing like that in the Indonesian verb. If we want to talk about an action that's happening now, like he's entering the school, it's like this. In Indonesian,
Dia sedang masuk ke sekolah.
in
Correct.
Tagalog,
Pumapasok siya sa eskwelahan.
if we want to talk about an action that hasn't happened yet, like he will enter the school, it's like this. In Indonesian,
Dia akan masuk ke sekolah.
Yes.
and in Tagalog,
Papasok siya sa eskwelahan.
notice that in Indonesian, the verb itself doesn't change, but rather an aspect marker comes before the verb, and it may be left out if the context makes it clear already.
Yes.
In Tagalog, the verb itself is inflected differently.
Oh. Pumapasok, papasok. Oh, so I guess so. This is the difference. Tagalog, I think it's kind of like a grammar thingy in English. So you see this, entered with an ed past tense, entering with an ing. Current situation continues, will enter. So it affects the verb right here. Ing, will, ed, it really affect on the verb. Meanwhile, Indonesia, we add the word, but it really it don't affect the verb. Like masuk, in progress we add sedang. Incomplete or future or something that will happen in the future, we said it with akan. So Indonesia doesn't affect the verb, doesn't affect the predicate. Meanwhile, Tagalog uses the same sequence or same system as English, where they really affect the verb according to the context of the sentences. So past tense is pumasok. Okay, pumasok. Okay, pumapasok. Papasok. Okay. Papasok, pumapasok, pumasok. Okay. I need to
You
learn
may
more.
also notice that some of the Tagalog inflections are infixes. In the first case, and in the second case, there's a doubling of the first syllable followed by the infixing of . Indonesian verbs do not have infixes. There are numerous prefixes and suffixes which change the meaning of the verb in different ways. For example, by making it transitive, or causative, or
Yup.
passive. But there's nothing
Berbatas,
for tense or
berbataskan,
aspect.
membatasi, memperbataskan.
Actor
Yep.
focus and patient focus. In Tagalog, verbs are either actor focus or
Patient
patient
focus.
focus. That means they have different conjugations depending on whether the focus of the sentence is on the doer of the action
Like an
or the
active
receiver
or
of the
passive
action.
voice.
For example, the student read
Bo-
a science book.
Bumasa ang estudyante ng libro sa agham.
This is actor focus, so the focus is on the student, the doer of the action.
Binasa ng estudyante ang libro sa agham.
A student read the science book. This is patient focus, so
Ah.
the focus is on libro,
The book.
receiver of the action. You can see that the verb inflections that are infixed to the root are different for actor focus and patient
Oh,
focus.
bumasa,
You can also
binasa.
see that there are two words that are switched in either
Oh
sentence.
my
and
God.
nang. Ang is the in-focus marker, and nang is the out-of-focus marker.
Okay. I know why people said now that that Tagalog is not as easy as we think, although we know the vocabulary. Because the detail here, like the bumasa, binasa, like with the ang, with the ang, with the with a pumapa, the this. With the pumasok, pumapasok, papasok, these details, these kind of details that make it as not as easy as we think, although we know some of the vocabularies already, but the way we need to sequence the sentence, the way we need to set up the sentence in order to make a single complete sentence that requires knowledge. And we know, okay, we know the structure, okay, verb, subject, object, okay, we know, but the thing is not only that, but the details to set the condition according to the context, so whether it is a past tense, future tense, present tense, on what details that we need to add, the conjunction, the ang, the suffixes, something like that.
The focus is on
Sa agham.
libro. The are different for actor focus and patient focus. You can also see that there are two words that are switched in either sentence, ang and nang. Ang is the in-focus marker. Point out that the noun with the in-focus marker, ang, is often interpreted as definite, whereas the noun with the out-of-focus marker is often interpreted as indefinite. But definiteness can be changed by adding additional words, like isang, meaning one. And it can also be understood from context, based on what has been previously mentioned. Indonesian doesn't exactly have actor focus and patient focus like Tagalog does. It does have something similar but simpler, a distinction between subject focus and object focus. Subject focus is the basic type of sentence, like this sentence meaning a student read a science book.
Mahasiswa membaca buku sains.
Technically, Indonesian has no definite or indefinite articles, so the nouns here could also be considered definite. But we could more explicitly express definiteness by adding nya, which means it's, to either noun or to both.
Mahasiswanya membaca buku sainsnya.
Or you could use the demonstrative pronoun itu,
Yep.
meaning that. Object focus usually places the object first.
Okay, before I continue, a little bit, not basically correction, but just a little detail here. Mahasiswa is not formerly used if we are talking about students. So, are you a student? So, are you a mahasiswa? No, mahasiswa is a kind of special occasion talking about a college student or a university student. So like me, I'm basically now a mahasiswa. So Felix is a mahasiswa. Felix is a college student. Felix is a university student. Something like that. Dia sedang belajar. Dia adalah mahasiswa. He is a college student. He is a university student. Meanwhile, if we want to say, a primary, how can we say he is a student? Like a school student, high school student, junior high school student, elementary school student, toddler, not basically toddler, like kindergarten school student, elementary school student. So should we use mahasiswa? No, mahasiswa is special just for a university student. So we usually erase the maha. We only said it siswa. Siswa for boys, siswi for girls. Like siswi itu, mahasiswi. Like mahasiswi is for college or university girl student. So if we want to say murid sekolah, like school student, so we will say it like anak sekolah or something like that. Mahasiswa, we will say that siswa sekolah. So siswa is only the siswa. Siswa is student. Mahasiswa is college or university student. I hope you get my explanation. If you have a question regarding this kind of things, just spam my comments below. I'll read it and I'll reply it. Okay, continue.
Buku sains dibaca mahasiswanya.
A science book was read by the student. Alternatively, this
College
could be
student.
Buku sains yang dibaca mahasiswanya.
A science book
A
is
science
what
book is
the
what the student read.
college student
Notice that
read.
in Indonesian, there are no markers that show focus or lack of focus like there are
Yep.
in Tagalog. We usually know whether it's subject focus or object focus based on which one comes first. In an object focus sentence in the third person, the prefix di attaches to the verb.
Yep.
But in the first and second person, any prefix is dropped from the verb.
Buku sains yang saya baca.
A
Yes.
science book is what I read. Notice that the verb baca doesn't have its usual prefix because the sentence is object focused, and it doesn't have the prefix di because that's only for third person. In Tagalog, all the personal pronouns
Okay,
are
wait.
only for third person.
I think
In Tagalog,
if I said that Tagalog is hard because there's the past tense and something. If we notice here, Indonesia also have a prefix. Buku sains yang saya baca. So basically, this is like a object, predicate. This is the subject. Okay. So basically, this is a objective focus. There's the prefix here. D. There's no D. So basically, if I have learned more about Tagalog, I will get the feels. Like I know in Indonesia, we don't need to know when we need to use D, when we don't need to use D, or where we need to use or where we don't need to use Like saya sedang membaca. I am reading. Buku itu dibeli atau buku itu dibaca Felix. So that book was bought by Felix. The book is read by Felix. The book is bought by Felix. So something like that. So it's focusing on the object, and I, as a person, is buying that book. So it is not focusing on me, but it is focusing on the book that I bought, the book that I read. That is the thing that is important when it comes to Indonesian. So this prefix, so di, something like that. And we already naturally, of course, know as Indonesian is my first language. And if I were to learn more, I think I got a hang of it about the suffix, prefix, something like that. The ang, the words that you said before the object, before the predicate, before the verb, something like that. Okay, continue. Why?
because that's only for third person. In Tagalog, all the personal pronouns are different depending on whether they are in focus or out of focus. The out of focus ones are actually genitive pronouns because they're also used as possessives. In Indonesian, most personal pronouns are the same, regardless of whether they are the focus of the sentence or not.
Aku,
As you
okay.
can probably see, Tagalog on the one hand and Indonesian and Malay on the other clearly have some similar features that show that they are related,
yep.
such as their similar pronunciation
Similar
and similar core basic
vocabularies, yep.
vocabulary. But it's also obvious that they have diverged so much that they are not mutually intelligible with each other,
Yep.
partly because of their different sentence structure and partly because of their largely different vocabulary. It's worth remembering that Tagalog is just one language of the Philippines and that there are many languages spoken in
Yeah.
Indonesia and Malay-speaking
Yeah.
countries like Malaysia and Brunei as well. Tagalog and Malay and Indonesian are not necessarily the two most similar languages from those countries. The question of the day, for speakers of Tagalog and Malay and Indonesian, how well do you understand speakers of the other language? Do you understand anything? Do you recognize some words when you hear
Yes.
the other language? Let us know in the comments down below.
Okay, so we're here. Nice language. Nice course. I have never ever imagined when I first create a YouTube react I will have react this kind of video. Never ever in a million years. The thing that I suspect or predict that I will make is a music reaction video. I never ever think of make this kind of reaction. Basically, I'm having fun. I got a college. I learned a subject. Maybe if you like kind of this stuff, maybe I can learn my school homework with a YouTube react, man. Lol. Then all my content will be my school activity related, so you will learn what I learned in my college. Lol. It is kind of unique then, man. And a good thing it is not getting claimed as well. Lol. Okay. Yeah, technology really improves. Never ever in a million years I would have thought that I will have made such a reaction. This is basically like I'm joining a lesson, man. I'm joining a lecture of 20 minutes of Tagalog and Indonesia, but it's so much fun. And yeah, the vocabulary are the same. Some vocabs are the same. The usage of the usage of some words are the same, but in terms of conjunctions, of the prefix, suffixes, and the way it orders verb, subject, and object, and also how to made up in a single complete sentences, that is the one requires much challenges because it's just that different, and it needs time and progress to really understand it all. But I really have a great time in understanding this, and I'm really hoping that I can react to more of this kind of videos so it can increase my knowledge in terms of language, because I'm also a guy passionate in learning language. And maybe if you guys love this kind of stuff, not only like entertainment, this kind of educational, maybe I can create more stuff like this, because it's nice to really give you knowledge, also to give you perspective. Or I'm thinking of growing my other channel. If you will help me in supporting and subscribing, the name is Perspektif Muda. I'm giving out different perspective of what I'm thinking, and also I'm creating a podcast too. And if you would like to support me there, it will be really really great. Maybe I can teach you some things about Indonesia, and you can give me some perspective about Philippines or something that I can also react to there. And we can develop a connection between Indonesia and Philippines in there. Like we can make it like an international Indonesia, Philippines, Asian community. We don't know. So I'm kind of have a big major plan for that, but I don't know whether you guys want it or not. So yeah, but anyways, besides of that, I just totally had fun just learning about Tagalog and Indonesian. So let's discuss and let's create an amazing classroom comment section below. So I guess that's it, guys. Hope you are safe wherever you are, and and Also, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Okay, until we meet next time, guys. Salamat po. I'm signing out, guys. And ingat.